Hi and welcome everyone. This is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. Okay, it is still a cold morning, but it is starting to warm up. And today what I want to talk about is, because if you're a prepper, you should really keep an eye on the weather, because depending upon what time of year you have to bug out, depending upon what you've got going on in your region, in your area, that you may have to bug out on. Keeping an eye on the weather and advanced weather patterns is it's important, especially if you're planning on traveling like I am. So, for example, we had back-to-back cold fronts come in where we only had like 3 days of good weather, and then it went right back to cold, but even colder than the first cold wave that came through. Okay, and seeing that, knowing that was coming, allowed me to decide to hunker down. So, if you know that something's coming, and you keep an eye on advanced weather patterns. So I read the Farmer's Almanac and the Old Farmer's Almanac this year before I came out, so I understood, what parts of the country I could go to that would be suitable for me. So the Deep South, which is like Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and part of Florida are considered the Deep South. And so as long as I get into the Deep South, the temperatures will be about where they need to be so that I can actually, survive this deep freeze that we've got coming. There's also another channel that I watch. It is called DW, Direct Weather. And the kid, he's not a meteorologist. He doesn't have an education in it. It's more of a passion and fascination. So he looks at the different models, and he actually shows them on his channel so that you could actually sit there and make your own interpretation based upon the models in which you're seeing. So you're seeing 3 potential outcomes. You'll see one where it's severe cold, one where it's severe heat, and then one that kind of meshes them all together. And I think the last one was the more accurate one, which is as long as I stay, as I don't go any further north than Tallahassee, I should be fine as far as the next cold wave, because the month of January is supposed to warm up, and then once the end of January comes, you're through February and March, and possibly even it only goes out to March right now as the projected models, but February and March are gonna be really, really gnarly cold. And so that's what you really got to get preparing for, and being able to find people that you can watch that will kind of help you keep an eye on the weather and how to migrate and how to move, because you've got to be able to take it from multiple sources. It's the understanding the weather is speculation. I mean, there is a science to it, to where they can be really good on their prediction models, but at the end of the day, when it's 25, it's 25. It doesn't matter if their model says it's going to be 27. Nature will do its own thing, and sometimes all we can do is speculate. And that's why you want to be able to look at multiple sources. So again, I looked at the Farmer's Almanac, the Old Farmer's Almanac. Those basically align. I watched this kid, Direct Weather, and plus, I look at, I have certain points along the way where I'm watching the weather and kind of, what is predicted and what's actually happening. And so, like, I've got Tallahassee, I've got New Orleans, I've got Austin and Dallas, because I was planning on going down that route, but I don't think I'm going to make it that far. And plus, if I'm going to be going up north, one of the things that I really should be worried about is not going too far west. So I might take a dip through Illinois, though, just for fun. But anyways, guys, I want to give you guys an update on the channel, kind of the way some direction that things are going, for those of you that have stuck around. So you guys see me put sometimes Nomad Diaries, and other times you see me prepping for SHTF. Now, I really want to keep the prepping for SHTF for the more educational stuff, the stuff that's going to be beneficial for you during SHTF. And there is, I hope, quite a large segment that wants to follow me to kind of keep up on some of the things that happen on the daily, because there are things that you can learn from the stories that I tell you about things that are going on with me, and that's usually what I label Nomad Diaries. So if you guys are want to keep up with me, you're going to see a lot more Nomad Diaries come out than SHTF ones, just because it's going to be a minute before I can start teaching you guys some more stuff, because sometimes some of this stuff is just like it's the instance, it's the time. I've exhausted this environment to an extent, but I've also, when I get to where I'm going, if I'm going to stay there for like 4 months, then I'm going to really have to dig my tentacles in. I'm going to have to kind of look at that as a semi-permanent place and kind of run through the different the different things that I need to do in order to set myself up, kind of think of it like a practice round before the actual event. And so if I'm going to make any mistakes, if there's things that I need to learn that I haven't learned yet, because over the last 10 years the homeless situation has changed a lot. It's a lot more different than it used to be. It seems like the drugs are getting worse, and it seems like the will for people to even just keep going, it's dwindling, it's dropping. So, and you're seeing a different type of homeless out here now. The ones that are just like, it's almost like they've given up on life, but they can't commit suicide. And there's a lot more of those people out here, and they all wear different masks and different faces, but there's various reasons why it's happened, whether it be a death in the family, whether it be a death of a parent or a death of a child, or a death of somebody that's truly, truly close to you, that's, extended family, things like that. Just a bad turn of events, and next thing you know, you're out here and you're spiraling into depression. So some people say, actually, Bridget said on one of my comments, she said that depression comes from lack of striving, and I agree with you to an extent, but there's something before that's being missed. And yes, being active keeps the depression at bay, because you're going and you're doing things and you're trying to accomplish tasks. But also at the same sense, what puts you there is what caused the emotional reaction. So it's I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, because just having experienced it, because I mean, I when I came out, I was like, okay, let me get a job, let me get on my feet, let me do my thing. The first time I ever went out, I was still depressed the whole time, no matter how hard I strived, because I was sad about where I was, and I was sad that I had sunk so low, because I was one of those people that used to make fun of homeless. Most of the people that make fun of homeless end up out here, just so you know. Even those that don't, but a good portion of people that end up homeless are the people that usually were dicks to homeless. I wasn't a complete dick, but I wasn't nice at times. I was like, go get a job, bum, because I was raised that everybody can work, and that's not necessarily true. There are things that happen in a person's life that cause them to give up in some form or fashion. And if you have too many of these things happen at once, if you have too many of these things happen at once, or over a short period of time, or in your adolescence, as you become an adult, it becomes harder and harder to get back up on your feet. Now, there are those of us who just have no ability to quit. No matter how hard you want it, no matter how bad you want to quit, you just can't give up. No matter how much you've tried to give up, you just can't give up. You know, there's a very small percentage of people like that. And those are the ones that actually get up off the streets and make something of themselves. But it's very rare, because it takes a certain kind of fortitude. It starts with the parenting. It starts with the environment that you raise your children in. It starts with how you set them up for life. Because as a parent, that's your number one responsibility, is to teach them how to survive after 18 without you. And so many parents have been derelict in their duty, and you're getting to see it in this millennial generation. These kids don't even know how to take care of themselves, because somebody always took care of them, and nobody had any patience to actually sit back and teach them anything. And so you wonder why you have such a lazy generation. And it's not necessarily that they're lazy, it's just that their parents never took the time to teach them anything. So anyways, guys, you know how to help the channel. Like, subscribe, share. Also, down at my affiliate links, if you like the gear that I use, I get a commission off of that. Also, if you want to come over to Patreon, you get an email every day that I release a video, which is 3 days before it comes out here on YouTube. Also, if you want to leave something in the tip jar, I have PayPal and CashApp, so both of those work. Thank you guys for being my subscribers. The goal is to hit 500. It looks like I might hit that goal, but in case I haven't hit that goal by the time you watch this video, please subscribe. I'd like to hit 500 by New Year's. Have a good one, guys. See you in the next video.